Hey YouTube, Robert here from Hitch to Horsepower, and I'm going to change the fuel filter on my '09 Silverado 3500 with the LMM Duramax in it today. I'm not going to dive into too much because there's plenty of videos showing you how to do the fuel filter. I will probably upgrade to a lift pump or at least an external fuel filter if I, depending on what I'm going to do with the truck. Again, I'm probably going to buy a new 450 next year, unless see what GM comes out. Those new 4500 looked really nice, but at the moment they're a tad bit expensive, the 4500 Chevys and GMCs. But yeah, let me get into the fuel filter. Again, I'm not going to really do a deep dive on this, but let's get it done. So I went ahead and got the K&N fuel filter, PF 3000 for this engine. I'm going to upgrade, I did this on my last Silverado, upgrade to a metal bleeder screw, because the factory plastic ones, well, you'll see it better when I pull this out. The factory plastic ones just tend to be to strip. This might have a metal one already. I'll find out. I went ahead and got the actual tool to remove the water separator. You can do them with channel locks, but this just keeps you from breaking them. I'm going to pull the air inlet off, and then take out the inner fender well and go ahead and get that done. Alright, so we've got the air intake out of the way, which this all will go away soon. I'm going to order a intake probably today. Waiting to hear back from my diesel mechanic on my final decision. So the filter's there, filter housing, primer pump, bleed screw, and then we'll come down here and we have the water separator, water sensor clip, and the filter. I'll probably take this off, take the whole filter assembly off, and then separate the water separator. So let me get you put on a tripod so that I can have both hands. Look in here though. Look how just lack of rust. Can you believe this is a 12-year-old truck? This is crazy. Alright, so righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Always remember to check. First we gotta pop this off. And also when you're pulling the inner fender well out, these are attached to the inside of it just to kind of hold in place, so you gotta remember that. Let's see, do we need something to... Yeah. Let's see what we can fit in here. I've got a few different types of straps here. Let's try this one. I like these little rubber ones, if we can get a good grip on it. See if I can make it slide up a little farther. I might fast forward you through this, we'll see. See how long it takes me. There. Well, it's not going in quite simple. There's a wire running right behind here, which is, yeah, it's just hitting. So let's try this again. All right. Let's try this one. What is it hitting on? There we go. And it still wants to get stuck there. And I don't want it on there because it's got a bunch of diesel in there. I want to be careful. do have a container sitting right here to pour it in, so we'll see. Try to keep you watching. Let's make sure I don't spill. There we go. Get around these wires. Alright, let's see. Get you a screen on here. Whoa, you're falling. Okay, well that works. Here's my little container. Tub of towels thing, empty, works great. Diesel actually looks pretty clean. She looks really clean, if you can see in there. So, let's see if you can, you see that? Here, pick this up. Stop that from rolling. See, that diesel actually looks a little yellow, but really nice and clean. No, I'm happy with that. So, hold on a second, let me grab the tool because I left it sitting on the engine cowling. Alright, so whoa, dripping some diesel on the floor. So, to get the water sensor off, let me just slide that over here like that, and just twist. Still run it over the bucket to, oops. This is why we wear gloves so we don't get diesel all over our hands. My old Silverado lost prime on the side of Interstate 70 on one summer day. It was about 100 degrees outside. I was trying to get it to reprime, pumping it, getting diesel all over my hands. Tried that for about an hour before giving up and finally calling the tow truck. See, and that's why you do it over the bucket. And covered in diesel, and then realized after I get back in the truck and wait for the tow truck that I had gloves in the back seat. Always check for that first. Always carry gloves, and then always check for it before you mess with fluids that suck. But yeah, so we got the separator off. Right. So we have the new O-rings. We got the one O-ring is here on the old filter, which we don't need to worry about other than making sure that it is here and not stuck up there. Just make sure that it's, yeah, that's something. Always double check, make sure that someone else didn't screw up before you, but chances are if it was stuck you would have seen a fuel leak. So just take a pick and just slide this old one off the water separator, or the water, not a water separator. Fords have water separators, I believe. I don't know. This is just a sensor. It's got a float here. It won't float in diesel, but it will float in water, and then it will pop up and tell you water and fuel, and most likely your sensor is just bad. But you always want to check, because it does happen every once in a while. So then we'll open this up. Another thing you can use the pick for, since I didn't grab scissors, I probably also could tear it, but take that, just get a little diesel on it, rub it down some more before actually sliding it back in, but, and then we'll just pop that on. Then the new filter, just thread that on carefully. Yeah, there's a little dry spot on this O-ring there, so we'll just make sure. And Slide this bad boy back on here. And then just snug it down. Don't need to go crazy, just... That wasn't me going crazy, that was me slipping off. Actually, it was me going crazy. So, you gotta be careful, because it will just skip a thread. There you go. And sometimes these do break. It is smart. They're not very expensive. It is smart to do, which I didn't, to have an extra one of these sitting around. I will probably order one just to have it on. And then take the other O-ring. Again, just put some diesel on it. Push it in place. Just sort of goes around the outside there. So far, this filter, this K&N filter, looks pretty nice. Happy with it. And move that out of the way. Put that on my little tray. Oops, still spilling diesel all over the place. These filters will just hide diesel whenever you move it. That's why I'm wearing this terrible t-shirt. This used to be a really nice shirt. It says Porsche on it and everything. But I ended up spilling oil on it at one point, and now it's this. So let's see. Hopefully this is centered. Let me get your picture back on here. There you go. So this should probably be someplace other, but it's not. That was what was making it so hard to get the filter strap. So you got to give it a little bit of a push up there to get past the center, right there. You got to get that to the seat, and then the threads on the side will start to grab. And just get it snug. And then about a quarter turn. Oops. Feels good to me. Plug this back in. And then definitely don't put all this back together before priming it and checking everything, because you don't want to have to take it all apart again. So let's move to the engine bay and finish that off. The first thing I'm going to do is take a 13 mil. By the way, that you'll need a 7, an 8, and a 13. Plus getting the panel things off to do everything. So, yep, this is the factory little plastic bleeder plug. So, I only had a screwdriver with me on the side of the road, and it's, you know, it's got a flathead thing, but you can see, I don't know if you can see right there, it's already sort of getting a little gouged. So it's better if I can work a Ziploc bag. Let me set that down. It's always better to just upgrade to the metal ones. They're like $10, and if you can get it out of the bag, they're much better. It's still, if you can use Oh, this is not a 13. So factory one's a 13. This one is bigger. But yeah, if you can use one of these aluminum ones, I'm gonna go get the right size and I will be right back. Alright, so this is a 14 or a 9/16. Both of them fit actually pretty good. I was sort of surprised how close they were. You want to make sure it does have an O-ring on it. And you want to just always, whenever you do this, just sort of inspect it. A lot of times you don't take them off, you just loosen them. I'm not going to worry about lubricating the O-ring because as soon as I start pumping this, some diesel's going to shoot out there. So I'm just going to screw it into place a little bit, and then we'll start pumping this little knob right here with your palm. I don't know if you probably can't hear it, but there's air coming out, and you're gonna end up pumping diesel along. Yeah, it is definitely better if you get a lift pump system. That is a good upgrade for this. Initially with my LBZ, I had a cat filter mounted under the driver's side dual that we just replaced. It was a much better filter, plus it was a lot simpler to replace. But then at one point had a pinhole leak somewhere in the system, most likely in the filter housing, but it wasn't worth finding it. It was just get the okay, so if you can see, we started getting some diesel spray out there. I'll do it again. So now we just tighten that down, finger tight. But I had a leak. It was most likely in the filter housing, but we decided just to put a lift pump on it. It's better overall, and that way if the leak was someplace else, it was okay. So snug that down. Like I said, you can do it with a flathead. If you're on a pinch on the side of the road, you grab a towel. Just gonna sort of dry this off a little bit. And now it should fire up if I did everything right. Fingers crossed. Also drying this off so that if I have a leak, I can spot it easier. One, if I have a leak, it most likely won't start. Alright, so we'll see what happens. I started it up and immediately my SD card said full. But it did fire right away. I got a warning thing on the dash, got check engine lights, and then it said reduce power, and that's because I didn't have the air intake pipe back on yet. But let's fire it up again. So it's running good. Let's see, it says hood open. I know the hood's open. Change fuel filter, which we can now reset. So oil, fuel filter, hold down. I think this is flashing for you. 100% fuel filter. Still have a check engine light, but I'm sure that will go away. It was saying here reduce power. But anyway, there's the fuel filter done. I will give you a peek. The radio is partly in. These screws are missing, and this is missing, so I need to call Crutchfield and talk to them, figure out how I screwed up. But it looks pretty good. You know, it's a nice unit. But anyway, like, subscribe, bell, whatever, and we're getting real close to 500 subscribers. I think I said that in the last video, but well, I said that in the last video I recorded that I haven't released yet. Sorry, I haven't put a video out in over a week. Been a little busy, but thanks everybody for watching, and we got a lot more interesting videos than this coming soon. Thanks. Bye.